All right, guys. Welcome to the VFA-86 training story for 12/29/2020. Year's almost out. Hallelujah. We're going to be doing targeted training objectives tonight, same as last week. So for those of you that were here last week, this is going to be a rinse and repeat of the low altitude run-in. This is going to be for targeted individuals within the squadron. For the new nuggets, you guys may or may not be doing some of this stuff once we get towards the end and we figure out where you're at, because we've had a lot of new blood. So you'll have to forgive us. We don't want to hit you with something that might be a little too advanced for you. So stay tuned until the end. But everybody will have something going on tonight. So just stand by. You can see here that these are all the targeted training objectives. So these are eventually you'll be trained on every one of these. But tonight's low altitude uses a piece from every single one of these. Okay, so just so you're familiar with the targeted training objectives. All right, moving on to the next slide. All right, tactical considerations for a low altitude CCIP bombing and delivery. Why would you do this? Weather or ordnance supplies that preclude the standoff weapons or any other restrictions is one of many reasons why you could do this. Pros that we've identified, obviously, is terrain masking to avoid any kind of air defense, artillery threats, weapons employment, while also minimizing the enemy reaction to presence, right? So we're going to get down low and try to avoid any type of detection, at least prolong detection to our presence up until the very last moment when we expose the aircraft long enough to run in and strike the target. Okay. Yeah, the reason is this allows us to take a division of aircraft, 4 jets, and provide maximum damage to an assigned target area while minimizing exposure of either sequence of jets or running onesie twosie into a target area. This is where we could take 4 jets, put them on line with each other, fly down a valley or a targeted area, saturate that target area, and then immediately exfil the area. So by the time the bad guy knows you're hitting them, it's already over and you're bugging out headed home. Okay. Cons to this obviously is a much higher fuel usage due to the fact you're going to be down on the deck for the run-in while you're trying to train master the aircrafts. The other thing too is exposure to AAA fire down on the ground is obviously a higher risk down there. So that's obviously a consideration, and then obviously a higher risk of CFIT, which for those that don't know is controlled flight into terrain, right? So those are your pros and cons and the tactical consideration for a low altitude CCIP bombing delivery. Okay. All right, for admin tonight, we're going to be doing 2 different flights: Ford flight and Chevy flight. And then Pancake, I gave you the option. Did you figure out which one you wanted? Did you want to run Ford or Chevy tonight? If you don't remember, Chevy's what you did last week. Ford's the Paiute airstrip.
I'm okay with either. Sure, I'll take Chevy.
Panda? You want me to put you on Ford so you get something new? Oh, sorry.
Okay, so Panda, Chevy, I'm Ford.
All right. Panda's rinse and repeat. Got it. All right. So start hitting me with those nuggets, Pancake. We got my OPSO and my assistant here, so you guys can start telling me who's flying this tonight. Who do we have here that needs to run through this?
Wiz, Condor, our main nuggets are let me see who else would be.
How about this? Let's figure out the section leads first. Zero, you ran this mission, right? But you didn't do it.
No, I missed it. So
Oh, you missed it. Okay, so you're getting you're gonna be Pancake's
okay.
section lead. Okay, and then section lead for Panda, hitting Chevy flight. Who else here? Do I have any other Lieutenant Lieutenant JGs or higher? Karma, have you done section lead yet? Karma, you there?
I think you just
Sorry, can you hear me now?
Yeah, we got you now. Have you done section lead
sorry.
before?
No, I've not, and I might have to leave early tonight, so I would just prefer to be a wingman.
Okay. I'm gonna put you with. Put you with Ford flights. Okay. Still need a section lead here. Do we have anybody else that I'm missing in here that can do a section lead? Really?
Somebody else can step up. I can do it.
I don't hear anybody, so. Because I can do it
Sorry, I
too,
was on
Lucky.
mute.
If we get to the end of this, Lucky, and I'm still free, I can step in there so you can focus on building that mission you're working on. All right. All right, Pancake, for your nuggets, are any of them ready for this?
I think Cougar and Wiz are ready for this. Kiwi Fortnite need to be broken off into a separate fight for IQT1.
All right, so I'm up at Cougar and Wiz. And then Flo, you're with Wiz, right?
Yeah, I'm with Wiz. Yeah,
All right,
but
how about
I'm taking. I was gonna take Kiwi and Wiz, or Kiwi and Fortnite.
Oh, okay, I got you. Okay. All right, so am I missing anybody else that I can put in here?
I ran. This is Condor. I ran it last week.
That's what I was forgetting. Condor, my bad.
All good.
Condor, right? And you moved target, right? So you're gonna get to run this again. And this time it's Chevy, so it's a different target.
Yeah, I gotta figure that would happen. I'm excited.
Yeah, this is fun. I mean, like I said, I've ran it 4 times or 5 times now, and it's fun every time I do it. So this is one that's
Right.
fun to rinse and repeat.
Of those that are left, we have Kiwi, Fortnite, Flo, and U-Taser, I think. And yeah, that's it. Zero, you have a spot, right? Okay.
Yep.
Anyone not have I did not just say their name and they're not on this board?
Sorry, I just. Oh, sorry. No, it looks like Cave's not in here anymore. I thought Cave was in.
Who?
Caveman.
Oh no, he's already retired for the night.
Cool.
All right, sweet. And then all right, so and the names we do not have up here, you guys know who you are and who you're flying with. Actually, let's go ahead and see. I'm gonna go ahead and put that in this slide so I know who's flying with you tonight, so I'm not confused. Flo, you said you're taking out. What'd you
Yeah,
say
I
their
think
names were?
Kiwi and Fortnite.
Kiwi and Fortnite.
I think that's it.
Yeah, that is everybody. You're the free agent, then Taser.
All right, sweet.
Man, Fortnite.
I know, right? It's a bitch to spell that. All right. Yeah, I'll put you guys whatever.
We're showing our age.
I didn't get
Dude.
to choose it.
All right.
Blinking.
And we'll just. And I think you guys are going to be Uzi actually, Flo, in
Yeah, that's
there.
fine. That
Call
works.
sign.
That's fine.
Springfield.
Did you change it? Okay. Oh, that is Springfield.
Yeah, it's in there. Springfield.
Oh my gosh. Okay. Right. Sweet. All right. Is everybody got a flight assignment down here then?
Yep.
Affirm.
Hey, can you bring up the overview real quick? I just want to look at where the best place to stay out of you guys' way.
Sure. All right, so route structure, for those that have not seen it, since Flo's getting ahead of us already. So I gotta make sure I remember my target packs. Yep, Chevy Flight. All right, so Chevy Flight is, the Chevy Flight is blue. Ford Flight is orange. Okay. You can see both flights are originating at Nellis on the fitter departure. Then you're going to be flying up the river valley. This is to give you plenty of time. This is a cruise altitude, right? So 15,000 feet by the time you hit fitter, and then continue up to 20 for waypoint 2. You'll be at 20,000 feet, going 350 all the way to link up for the tanker. The tanker, did we put the tanker? We fixed the tanker, right? He's at 25 still?
Yeah, he's at 25 still. I think
Yeah.
he's about 250, 260 knots.
Yeah, okay, should be 280. So tanker's at 25,000 feet, doing a 50-mile track orbit, left-hand turns. Like I said, doing 200, hopefully 280 knots. So both flights will hit the same tanker, separated by 15 minutes for the departure. So that'll help sequence out. So by the time the first tanker gets up there, that's the other thing too. We didn't talk about. Do we have anybody in either Ford or Chevy flight that cannot air-to-air yet?
Yeah, Wiz is pretty bad at it.
All right, Wiz.
Condor,
So
too.
all right, so both Wiz and Condor, make sure you guys take triple bags. So you'll be triple bags on your fuel tanks, okay?
Roger.
Tally.
You can still try to tank, but we're gonna make you take 3 bags just in case you can't, and so we don't want you flaming out over northern Nevada. Okay. And then after that, you can see both flights will come off the tanker around Tonopah. Your last at altitude run-in leg is from 6 to 7. At 7, that is your push point. At your push point, that's when the flights are clear to descend. I'll leave it up to the flight leads how you want to descend. If you just want to nose it over, or if you want to do the wing rollover, that's your call in the individual flights. And then at that point, you guys can start proceeding inbound terrain flight. Again, the objective is to maintain below 500 foot AGL. Okay, that doesn't mean you have to maintain 50 feet AGL for the run-in. Okay, if you're sucking in road runners, you're too damn low. The objective is to get to the target, not to show up and not hit anything because you've sucked in every piece of FOD in the northern part of the state. Okay, so fly appropriate for what you're doing. Again, flight leads, feel free to open up recommendations for crews. Actually, I'm going to hold off on my recommendations because we'll get that at the very last slide. But this is your overall run-up view. You can see for the target pack hitting the Paiute airstrip, you guys are going to be dropping and then straight out to your turn point that you can egress out. There's actually a mountain range right in here that you can kind of duck behind that you'll see on your run-in. And then for the guys hitting Chevy pack, Chevy's target, you're going to be making an immediate left turn after expending ordnance, exfilling the target area. Okay, both flight packages, their final waypoint, or at least for forward flight, your final waypoint is back to Nellis, and for Chevy flight, you have one waypoint that lines you up to put you straight down on a 209 for landing 21 right, 21 left, whatever the pattern work is at that point. Okay, so just take notice of that right here. Okay. Any questions on this particular piece, the overall route structure of either flight?
One quick question as to the final run-in for both flights in terms of what the breakaway pattern should be. How far past the target will Ford make it before they make their bank, and how immediate should Chevy make their bank?
So Ford's going to go all the way out here to this waypoint here. So whether or not the flight lead wants to call for a running rendezvous or however he wants to handle that cruise formation, I'm not going to dictate that to the flight.
Okay.
So for the Ford flight package, your element of protection is get in fast, hit him and forget him, and maintain your terrain flight until you can get out of the target area. Right. That basically that red ring. The Chevy pack is a left turn, and there's a set of mountains right over in this area. Actually, can you guys even see my pointer? Probably not.
Yep.
Yeah.
There's a set of mountains right here that the Chevy pack is exfilling to. So what I would do if I was running Chevy pack is I would say individually brake from left to right as you run in. So however you set up this flight, whether the division leader's on the far left and then he brakes first, then he would just call out whoever's far left will call their turns. So if division was first, he'd say one's braking left, exfilling, and give a direction, which will be this waypoint heading, right? So one's exfilling. I think this is about a 076, if I remember correctly. Actually, I can't be able to read that. Anyway, this direction. Okay, exfilling, and then 2's going to say the same thing. 3, 4. That way, everybody knows they're braking, right?
Copy.
So. Good questions. Anything else? Any other questions? Flo, as far as you're concerned,
I'm going to say.
Yeah, I was going to say.
East of Groom Lake, and stay up at 20,000. Groom, just east.
Oh
of
yeah,
Groom Lake.
yeah. You'll be fine at Groom, and you'd be fine going out of Nellis to Tonopah as well.
Yeah,
What
we'll
was
just stay
the
east of Groom
course
Lake
heading
and just keep up there.
for the flights for when they're heading on target?
Say that again.
So what's the final heading from waypoint 11 to target for the 2 flights?
That's on the next slide. Stand by.
Okay.
But you can see right here. I think this one's 180 for Ford pack, and this is 166 for Chevy pack. Okay.
Got it.
All right. Now Chevy flight target area assignments. Okay. Notice you got your blown up area here. Okay, so your primary targets is the ramp structure and everything that's on it with your cluster munitions. So that's targets for flights 1 and 2. You'll need 2 aircraft to saturate that ramp. The 3rd jet you'll need to put on bombing the runway. recommend at least 800-foot intervals on Mark 82s right down the center of the runway. And then the fourth target will be for the fuel tanks that's going to be hit first. Okay, that is offset to the right on the run-in for the Chevy target. Right. So most ideal aircraft for this would be your number 4 jet. Okay.
Copy.
So if this was me for the day, if I was king for the day, I'd put division lead right here, running down this line of F4s. I'd put number 2 running down this line of F4s and this hangar. I'd put number 3 running right down this runway. Okay. And then I
use
put
the roadway.
Yeah, and you can use the roadway as a guide coming in. Okay. Because it's kind of hard to see. I put fuel. That's the other thing too. So you're going to come in. You're going to be coming in at 350 feet low, or at AGL altitude. So you should be able to see these trucks kind of lining up. I put them all the way down this runway, so it kind of looks like a runway to kind of give you some kind of visual cue. So just right down the runway. It's not like you got to hit the trucks. That's just there for a visual reference. And then notice the fuel tanks off to the far right. Okay. So if you do this correctly. And remember, you're going to be in cruise formation until you get to the IP. Once you get to the IP, we're not so much worried about maintaining wing spacing at that point. At that point, we're worried about lining up on our targets. But you can see right here for scale, on F-18 here and another F-18 here, as far as the distance between them, 3 to 4 aircraft length between you. But then the difference between, or spacing between number 2 jet and the number 3 jet was going to be even greater, right? Because you got all this taxiway space and the sod in between. Okay, and then same for the distance. The number 4 jet will be all the way out here lined up. Okay, so the whole point of the IP and the initialization point is just that. It's initializing the flight. You're no longer necessarily worried about keeping division spacing from wing. Now you're worried about is keeping your nose on nose, like your 4 horses running down the road. You want to stay nose on nose so that nobody's further out in advance than the other one, so that when you come across through here, number 4 is going to drop his ordnance first. So by the time these guys are dropping, they should be seeing flashes in their rearview mirror, these fuel tanks rupturing. Okay, and then number 4 is going to fly right down through here, and he's going to get to watch the fireworks as these guys come across through here, as he's looking over his left shoulder, right? So we're just staying nose to nose, all the way coming all the way through there until every jet has had the opportunity to let go of its ordnance. And then the next thing you're looking for, if I'm in the flight, I'm waiting, like say I'm number 4 in this particular case, I'm waiting to hear 1, braking left, exfil in 060, 2, braking left, exfil in 060, 3, braking left, 060, exfil, and then 4 sounds it off as well. Okay. Sound clear as mud.
Clear as mud.
All right.
Swamp mud.
All right. There we go. Very clear then. I love it. All right. Any questions for Chevy flight? All right. Moving on to Ford flight. All right. Ford flight, pretty much same target pack association, except you're actually no, even the tanks are on the right side as well. So again, the way I would do this one, I'd put the division lead down the center line of the runway, number 2, number 3, and then number 4 out here on the fuel tanks. Okay. And then you can go straight out. That'd be one way to execute it. Okay. So the flight lead would have the Mark 82s. Then 2 and 3 would have your clusters, and number 4 would be on Mark 82s as well. So recommend, I also forgot to mention that for Chevy flight, recommend Mark 82s spaced at 100-foot intervals for the fuel tanks. Okay.
Balutes are just regular Mark 82s.
I'm sorry. Yeah. Balutes. Yeah. Make sure you take the Yankees. Looking for Mark 82 airs when you go into your ground menu and your rearming. Okay. And then I'll let your flight lead walk you through weapon system setup on how to do that, on how to do the sequence setup.
Just you might want to call out the Balutes are center versus the rock guys, which are set the height and stuff too.
Okay, techniques. We already kind of hinted at combat cruise, but recommend combat cruise formation on the run-in. Allows you good flexibility, okay, and room to maneuver. Plan to have the formation tighten up after you pass the IP as you begin your run-in, okay? When I say tighten up, I mean tighten up nose to nose, okay? So that so if you look left and you look right, you should see 4 jets right along each other, okay? Spaced appropriately so they're passing over the top of their target. if you're in position 4 and number 3 is crowding into your lane, that's something you need to communicate. Don't slow back and slide in behind him so that you can still line up on your target. That's a no-go. So the intent is this: is everybody kind of stays in their lane as you come down the corridor towards hitting your target. Okay, so communicate with one another. Try to keep yourselves lined up. All right. Consider using tack turns for heading changes greater than 45 degrees. It's always a good recommendation and good idea. The key to good tack turns, though, is the formation, how the formation is set up prior to. Remember, all tack turns are at 3 Gs, okay? All right, avoid inverted flight unless you're going to defensive, okay? So especially since you're going to be down low, below 500 feet AGL, trying to avoid that C-fit, right? So going inverted is a good way to really, lose your situational awareness, especially, losing visual on your wing, okay, or your lead. So the other reason that you want to be able to keep eyes on your flight lead or your wing at all times is you never know. You could get popped by either SAMs or air defense threat that you didn't foresee or wasn't on the intel pack, or by enemy red air that's coming at you, and you're deciding to bug out. You need to be, so if he just starts coming up and left and says, "Hey, I'm going defensive," then you need to be able to be ready to go with him. Okay. Stay off the burner unless you absolutely need it. Okay, fuel consumption, like I've already pointed out, is key on this. So it's at its highest down low where the air is thick, right? All right, and if you're using Rockeye 20s, remember the VT, the variable timing, must be set to 1,500 feet for your CCIP telemetry to be accurate. The CCIP telemetry is actually showing you the middle impact. So if you're dropping 4 bombs, then you have to best guess on your spacing for these things.
On the 20s is accurate. It's you start from the front.
Okay, so the CCIP is accurate. We've done so many tests on this; it's starting to mix together. So the CCIP telemetry is accurate for 1,500 feet, as long as you set it. So when you see that thing cross the beginning of your target line, press and hold. As you see, my next point is press and hold your weapon release button prior to the set programmer. If you interrupt it prior to it finishing all the bombs drop, so if you tell it you want it to let 8. You decided to tell it to do an 8 ripple drop, you got to press that weapon release and hold it down until all 8 weapons come off your storage page. Okay, or you're counting them, or you're hearing them, or you're feeling them if you got a jet seat and you feel them fall off the aircraft. If you interrupt it, you can stop the weapon release if you release that weapon, the weapon release button. Okay, so you can't interrupt the program. All right, and then use your JHICMAs, keep situational awareness, right, guys? Especially with the Hornet and all the goodies that ED has given you. Keep it on so you can keep situational awareness with where your wing element is and where you're headed. Okay. I think. What did we do? 300.
500 feet.
Was
Wait.
it 500?
Yeah,
it was 500 for
the
the Mark. Yeah, it was 500.
Yeah, so 500-foot intervals recommended for the Mark 20s. That was with 8, so that should saturate that ramp pretty damn good. So if you've got jets that only have 4 of them, so it should still be enough to cover the ramp. That's just got to be accurate. Okay.
Should the interval shorten for fuel tanks?
Yes.
No.
But you're going to be doing. He's going to be doing 82Ys on fuel tanks, right?
Yes. Oh,
Copy.
you're saying on the fuel tanks. I'm sorry. Yeah, the fuel
Yep.
tank Mark 82s should be 100-foot intervals. Yes.
Copy.
And the way I would do that, I would carry, well, this mission is designed to carry one centerline tank, and then the rest of your outboard stations are carrying Mark 20s. So if that or Rockeyes, excuse me, Mark 82 airs, if that was the configuration I was flying in, then it would be a drop of 8, sequenced of 2, intervals of 100. Okay, so then that's 4 pairs of Mark 82